Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the New Weight Paradigm, the podcast slash YouTube series that tells you that you're already good enough and that maybe you want to lose weight, but that's really your own decision and it's not for me to figure out for you. And that's really what we're going to cover today. So today's episode is really just some thinking, some kind of research as well, and some perspectives on whether you need to lose weight and whether you need to take a weight-based approach. And I'll save you the suspense. The main argument I'm going to make is that this is all your decision, love. You get to decide all these things. It's not for someone else to tell you you need to lose weight or you need to do these things, right? It's a very personal decision, but I'm going to give you some things to think about, and I'll pepper in some personal experience to to maybe help make sense of some of the things I talk about. So I'm Deanna Bedoya, and I am a content creator. I'm a senior lecturer at Simon Fraser University here in Canada, and I'm a course creator, coach, and speaker as well. And I'm here to change the way we look at weight so people can feel more confident in their bodies and show up just shining that beautiful, excellent light of theirs. And that is what I'm always going to focus on, from a foundation of you're already good enough, and that if you choose to want to change your behaviors, sure, go do it. I can help you do that. I'll guide you towards that. But it's always about you, and it's always about you feeling good in your body and finding what's going to work best for you. Okay, so today's question is, do you need to lose weight? How does that feel when I say that? Do you need to lose weight? Is there something that comes to mind? Maybe something came quickly to mind. Maybe it was a yes, maybe it was a no. What I want to do today is kind of reason through some of the things that you might want to consider when you are considering this question of whether you need to lose weight. And I'm kind of going to approach it from a physical, mental, and social well-being angle. So the first question to ask yourself, as far as if you're deciding on whether you need to lose weight or not, is how is your weight currently affecting your health? Is it currently affecting your health, right? So do you have potentially a current disease that's related to higher weight? So a good example is type 2 diabetes. The number one risk factor for type 2 diabetes is obesity. Obesity is also a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. It's a risk factor for certain types of cancer. So if you have a current disease and it seems that, or your doctors have told you that your weight is something that's impacting that, then that might be a reason for you to consider to change the behaviors that might change your weight. Okay, so that's something that is worth perhaps looking at. Again, I'm being very careful with my words because I don't want to tell you what to do, right? But if your current weight is promoting disease either right now or in the future, right? So maybe you don't have type 2 diabetes right now, you don't have cardiovascular disease right now, but it runs in your family. So in my family, there's type 2 diabetes all over the place on my dad's side. And from my dad's side, weight management has actually all my family, weight management has been an issue, but especially on my father's side, we're larger people. Almost everyone is in a larger body. And because of those larger bodies, I'm assuming that is the main driving force behind the higher levels of type 2 diabetes in that pool, right? So for me, keeping and maintaining a healthy size is really important, not because I currently have type 2 diabetes, but because I don't want to get it in the future. So for me, having a strategy that includes a weight-based approach is important for physical health reasons. But again, this is very personal for you, right? And something else that might influence your desire to want to maybe lose weight is whether or not your current weight is affecting your movement or your experience in this life. So for instance, an individual that's in a larger body, they might have a harder time walking around, right? They might have a higher chance of things like osteoarthritis, right? They might have other physical issues like an increased risk of something called sleep apnea, or an increased risk of snoring at night, right? Or it just might be a bit more uncomfortable to get around if someone is in a larger body. 100%. So the main message here is that I'm not here to tell you whether you need to lose weight or not. Completely a personal decision. Who the hell am I? Don't let someone on the internet tell you what to do. Okay? But these are things you might want to consider, right? These might be motivators to help you get to a place where you change your behaviors in a way that's sustainable and that's going to help you promote better health. Okay, so one thing to consider when you're considering whether you need to lose weight or not is your physical health. And I would argue it's a big one. Why? Because when someone has a chronic disease, it impacts their quality of life. For me, it's all about quality of life. And if you have type 2 diabetes, if you have cardiovascular disease, if you develop cancer, these are things that consume your life in a different way, right? And it's going to really depend on how that disease manifests, but they affect your life. They can affect your joy, right? So if there's something we can do to minimize the effect that these diseases or the potential for these diseases can have on us, I think that's worth exploring. Okay, so it's all about quality of life. Is your current weight affecting your quality of life? And would you prefer to improve that particular area so ideally you can enjoy your life a bit more? Okay, or you don't have as many medical issues, because of course that can be really complicating and really can really affect us mentally and socially and emotionally. And ideally these bodies get us as far as they can without causing too many trouble. And if we achieve and maintain a healthy weight, that's one of the things that can help these bodies function most optimally. Okay, so just to get into the research a little bit about this, just to add to what I've just been talking about. So some of this is coming from this journal article called Weight Loss and Improvement in Comorbidity. Differences is up 5%, 10%, 15%, and over. And this was by Donna Ryan and Sarah Ryan Yockey. I like this review because it looks at the literature and it says, well, if someone has a disease, how much weight loss is necessary to improve that disease? And if you're looking at this on YouTube, you can actually see some of the specific stats. But a general theme is that it only takes as little as a drop of 2.5% of body weight, not body fat percentage, but body weight, to see noticeable improvements in a number of things, right? So there's improvements in blood sugar regulation with as little as 2.5% weight loss, right? There's an improvement in like your blood lipids, your triglycerides, for instance, at as low as 2.5% weight loss. So to put that in perspective, 2.5% means that someone is 200 pounds and they lose 5 pounds. So as little as 5 pound change can make a noticeable difference in some of your health markers. Okay, but a general rule of thumb is that about 5 to 10% weight loss is enough to significantly improve a number of health-related issues. Okay, so for instance, and I'm just reading off my slides here, right? So actually on the next one, it's better. So with depression, right, a 5 to 10% reduction in weight can help to improve some of the depression-related symptoms. Okay, a 5 to 10% weight loss, as much as a 16% weight loss, is enough to decrease our risk of all-cause mortality as well. Okay. Also, when it comes to knee pain, as little as a 5 to 10% weight loss is enough to improve that too. Okay, so why I bring this up is that I think, when I ask the question, do you need to lose weight? And maybe your answer was yes, because perhaps you have these health-related issues or you're worried about these health-related issues in the future. Let's say I'm 200 pounds. Let's say I'm 300 pounds. And I think, well, I do have these diseases. I do have these problems. And I have to lose 100 pounds to make a difference. I have to lose, well, in that case, that's a third of my body weight to make a difference. And what I'm here to say is that if someone is 300 pounds, as little as like a 15-pound weight loss can start making noticeable improvements in that person's health-related factors. Okay, so I think sometimes we put a big number on how much weight we actually need to lose to see an improvement. And hopefully, that's my goal here, these numbers are a little bit more motivating. They're a little bit more like, if I need to lose weight for my health, or I want to lose weight for my health, I don't actually need to lose as much as other people might think I do, right? I don't actually need to, let's say, fit into a bikini, whatever the hell that means, in order to improve my health risk. Okay, so something to think about as far as your physical health goes. Even just changing the behaviors that lead to that smaller amount of weight loss can have a noticeable difference in a bunch of health markers. Okay, so something else to consider. So, do you need to lose weight? One thing you want to look at is how your current weight is affecting your physical health. Really good question, right? And take some time to think about it, and take some time to think about how would you like it to be different. Right? How would you like to feel instead of the way you feel right now, or the way your physical health is right now? Think of how a change in that physical health might improve your quality of life. And what I'm trying to do here too is like get a little bit into motivation too, right? So like finding some of that internal motivation to perhaps change your weight-related behaviors because you want to feel better. Because you don't want to be maybe checking your blood. Well, you still have to check. I'm hesitating because you'll still have to check your blood glucose if you already have type 2 diabetes. But maybe, you could go like a lower dose of your meds and you could spend less money if you were to reduce your body weight by 15% or 10% or 5%, right? Maybe that could make a big difference in those areas, okay? But it depends. For other people, that maybe aren't at a larger size, losing weight, losing 5 or 10 pounds might not make as much of a difference on their physical health. So you get to decide whether you want to lose weight for other reasons. So still on this concept of should you lose weight? Do you need to lose weight? Something I want to ask you as well is, have you, my love, considered your mental health? And why I ask this question is there are a lot of people out there that are just like pretty much send the message that almost everyone needs to lose weight and that like weight loss is always the goal. And if you know anyone or you yourself has ever dealt with, for instance, an eating disorder, like myself, like I've dealt with both a form of bulimia and binge eating disorder, I have to be very careful in the weight-related behaviors that I use because I know that there's a point where my mental health really gets compromised. And there's a fine line between I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising and everything's good and I'm super obsessed about my weight and I'm excessively exercising and I'm excessively restricting. And that's super messing up my mental health, right? And then on the far end of that spectrum, I can get back into those eating disorder type habits or full-on eating disorder as well, right? So I'm just saying that if we're asking this question, do you need to lose weight? Your mental health has to be part of that examination. And interestingly, yeah, losing weight actually can improve your mental health, right? There are associations between weight-related behaviors like exercise, for instance. Exercise is very much known to improve the symptoms of depression and improve the symptoms of anxiety for certain people. So there are reasons that weight-related behaviors can improve your mental health, but they can also go in the other direction too. And we don't talk about this enough. And a lot of people who have been on restrictive diets, and especially who've been through like diet after diet after diet and are stuck in that weight loss, weight gain cycle, their mental health has been significantly compromised by that whole process. Okay, so just do you need to lose weight? Well, how's that going to affect your mental health? Maybe it'll improve it. Awesome. Then that might be the path for you. Okay, so, and then the question is, what weight-related behaviors are actually going to promote weight loss, sure, if that's part of your goal, and which weight-related behaviors are also going to promote mental health. Again, from this foundation of you're already good enough. You don't have to change anything yourself to be good enough. But are these weight-related behaviors going to actually make you feel better in your body and your mind? Okay, so how can you best support your mental health if you do decide to lose weight? Perhaps for physical reasons, okay? Perhaps for mental reasons as well, okay? Another question you want to ask yourself, I would argue that something's often not part of the conversation, is have you consulted with your body? Right? Part of this new weight paradigm is that we are in a relationship with our body, and our body is our ally in no matter what we choose to do, especially if we're working on like things that can change our body in a certain way. So when I say, have you consulted your body? Like, have you considered what your body has experienced in the past when you've tried to change your weight, right? How does it typically go, and what typically happens in your body? For instance, I've been on a lot of restricted diets where I spend the entire time just starving, where my body is like sending me signals all the time, eat, eat, eat. Like it does that. When you're at a caloric deficit, your body sends you signals that tells you to eat. And those signals, it's like a pig squealing. It's like they're so loud, right? More just the sound of a pig squealing is how loud they feel in my mind. And so if I want to lose weight, if I've decided that that is the right path for me, right? Have I thought about how to do that so my body doesn't feel hungry the entire time? Have I thought about how to do that so my body doesn't feel tired all the time? What feedback am I going to listen to from my body so I actually use it as part of my decision-making process, and it actually like helps me make better decisions? So your body has to be part of the process is my point. Okay, so should you lose weight? Do you need to lose weight? Really up to you, my love. That's absolutely your choice. One thing I don't have in these slides is, do you need to lose weight? If you need to lose weight, it usually represents like a physical need. But maybe for you, it is about aesthetics. I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally, as long as it doesn't mess with your mental health. I know some of us want to look a certain way. I'll be honest, I am quite healthy right now. I eat well, I exercise a lot. And, you know, there's still a way I like my body to look, right? And that is, I'll be honest with you, that's part of the motivator. It's, if I'm being honest, truly honest, it's about clothes. I love clothes and I love wearing nice clothes. And there's certain clothes that fit better when I'm at a certain size. So that's something else to consider, is like, do you need to lose weight? Is part of what you want is to feel better aesthetically. However, coming back to this, have you consulted your body? Are the goals you're setting up actually realistic for you? Like, my bodies can change, but it can only change so much. And whenever I've tried to get really, really thin, I'm often miserable in the process, and it doesn't last very long, right? So I can have aesthetic goals for my body, sure. I wouldn't say that's you need to lose weight, right? But that's more of a want to lose weight, which is okay. You could do you, right? But am I being realistic about the goals I'm setting for myself? Is it realistic to think that a person in a 300-pound body is going to go down to 150 pounds? Yeah, that can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but for some people that's going to be very, very difficult, and that's going to really compromise their mental health, and you don't actually need to lose that weight to promote your physical well-being. Okay, so all things, I want us to think about these things. These are things we rarely think about. And so we decide, well, I need to lose weight, maybe for only aesthetic reasons. And then we don't think about our mental health. We don't think about our social health. And we don't consider our body's experience through this as well. So at the end of the day, should you lose weight? That was the question. Should you lose weight? Do you need to lose weight? At the end of the day, you get to decide whether you want to lose weight or not. And I say this knowing full well that we're all influenced by other people and we're all influenced by society as well. And I know that there is societal pressure and there's family and friend pressure to look a certain way. I get that. And I am definitely influenced by that. I don't want to pretend that I'm not, because I very much am. I have a lot of very pretty, thin friends. Ugh, it's exhausting. And I do feel that like external pressure to look a certain way. But at the end of the day, this is my body. This is my body, and my experience with my body is going to frame my experience with my life as well. So just because I have friends or family that might think I need to look a certain way, and granted, I'm past that now, I no longer have that, at the end of the day, it's still my decision. And why I think this is so important, because if it's other people's decisions, then that's not sustainable. If it's other people that want you to look a certain way, then you don't have any of this internal motivation. That internal motivation of like, this feels good, I want to keep doing it. It's not about like that internal feeling. It's about what other people think of you. And you have zero control. You have zero control of what other people think of you. Okay, maybe you have a little bit, but you don't have a lot of control. You don't have complete control. You definitely don't have complete control over what other people think of you. So, at the end of the day, if you want to decide to lose weight, 100% your choice. Make sure that you're doing it in a way that's not going to compromise your mental health, and you're doing it in a way that's consulting your body as well, okay? And something else I want to throw in here is that when I say that you get to decide whether you want to lose weight or not, people might think, people might say, well, no, someone that's X amount of weight, they need to lose weight for their health, and that's being the particular size is unhealthy. Sure. Cool. Okay. Well, weight is definitely one of the ways that we can use to evaluate someone's health, but it doesn't give the full picture. And if focusing on weight has compromised your mental health, I might not recommend a weight-based approach to promoting your health, because there's other things that can tell us how healthy we are beyond our weight. Okay. So what I want to have you think about a little bit is whether you actually want to have a weight-based approach to your health or a non-weight-based approach to your health. So let me differentiate between the two. So a weight-based approach to health means that as far as health goes, the main success indicator that you're using is a change in your weight, right? So you assume that when my weight changes in this particular way, that means I'm promoting health, right? Weight is the key indicator of your health. And then in this weight-based approach to health, you're focused on changing the behaviors that promote a caloric deficit and ideally are sustainable, and that can become part of your life. Okay, but the focus is weight in a weight-based approach to health. Okay, and yeah, sure, weight is one of the indicators of where our health is at. It doesn't tell us the complete story, but it is one of the indicators of that. However, I don't recommend a weight-based approach to health for everyone, especially individuals that have had their mental health put through the ringer through obsessing about their weight. So for individuals perhaps that have dealt with disordered eating or perhaps an eating disorder, having a weight-based approach to health might really mess up their mental well-being, and I would not recommend it for these individuals. So that doesn't mean that if you don't have a focus on weight that you can't be healthy. That's ridiculous, right? A non-weight-based approach to health means that you're using other success indicators as far as your health goes. And then that's a question for you, is like, what are your success indicators, right? It might be, if you're not using weight as your success indicator, right? A success indicator might be how you feel. It might be how strong you are. It might be that you're engaging in enjoyable activities and you're regularly doing that, right? Maybe you're looking at non-weight related health markers. Maybe you're looking at like your blood sugar regulation, or maybe you're looking at your like blood lipids or your cardiovascular health as non-weight based indicators of health. For instance, like it's not completely accurate, but my like Apple Watch tells me my VO2 max, which is an indicator of my cardiovascular health. And that's a non-weight based indicator of health that I really like to focus on, right? Because it tells me, how well my heart and my respiratory system are working. Okay, but it's completely different than the scale. Of course, your weight can influence your cardiovascular health, but I don't have to focus on weight, right? So you use these other indicators of health if you're changing behaviors for your health, right? And you're using a non-weight-based approach to health. You're using these other indicators of health, but you're not focused on weight. You're not weighing yourself constantly. You're not obsessing about how your clothes fit. You're not obsessing about, maybe one day that might compromise your behaviors because that might make you gain some weight, because you know that, health is dynamic and it changes from day to day, and health behaviors are dynamic and they change from day to day, right? So in this non-weight-based approach to health, you don't focus on weight, you focus on behaviors that promote health and that make you feel good and that improve your quality of life. And I think this is an excellent approach for a lot of people, especially if focusing on weight has screwed up people's mental health in the past. Okay, so this is an approach, and at the end of the day, like I said before, you get to decide. You get to decide whether you want to lose weight or not, and the approach you use. Don't let someone tell you that you have to lose weight for your health. Well, ugh. I know that people do say that. I know that doctors do say that. But at the end of the day, even if a doctor says that to you, there are doctors that are informed in this line of perspective as well. And there are doctors that you can find that will work with you towards a non-weight-based approach to health if you know that that weight-based approach to health is going to screw you up. It's going to be the worst thing for you. Okay, so there's a website called My Weight, What to Know. Fantastic. Run by Ainsley Dulu, I think her name is. Fantastic. They're like an obesity resource, but they have a clinician finder for the United States and Canada where it could help you find a healthcare practitioner that is informed in obesity medicine, right? That knows what's up and ideally is educated in weight bias and can ideally work with you to figure out which approach to health is best for you. Okay, because you get to advocate for your body and you get to advocate for what approach to health is best for you. Okay, it doesn't have to be a weight-based approach. I'll be honest with you, I have a weight-based approach to health, but that doesn't mean that I think that everyone else needs to. We don't always need to be obsessed about our weight. And if doing that has messed with your mental health, maybe it's time to shift that paradigm. Okay? So, speaking of the new weight paradigm, right? In this new weight paradigm, remember that we're starting, regardless of whether we use a weight-based approach to our health or not, we are starting from a place of fundamental self-worth. It's not that you need to lose weight or change yourself in any way to become worthy or become good enough. You're already good enough. You're already great, my love. You're fantastic, right? But you get to decide what behaviors you're going to engage in that are going to, shape your physical health, but ideally improve your mental well-being as well, right? And that you work with your body instead of fighting against your body to find which path is going to be the best for you, finding your own unique way through trying shit out, trying out different approaches and like receiving feedback. Hey, I tried this for a week. This is what happened. This works for me. This doesn't work for me. Let's tweak it this way or let's get rid of it altogether. But that was fun. That was fun to kind of try that thing, but it didn't work. Let's move on, right? Joyful experimentation. That's part of this new weight paradigm as well. Okay. So at the end of the day, my love, you deserve to feel amazing in your body no matter what size you are, no matter where you're starting from. You deserve to feel amazing in your body because I want you to show up confidently in your own body so you can share with this world what you're here to share with this world. And that's just like your unique perspective. That's like your heart. That's like who you are as a person, how you treat other people, right? That's what you're here to share with the world. And maybe a unique perspective or a unique business or whatever else. Maybe that's what you're here to share with the world. I don't know. Who knows? But at the end of the day, if we're obsessing about our weight to a point where we can't show up confidently in a room and know that we deserve to be there, then it's time for us to reevaluate how we're thinking about ourselves and our weight and our size. Because you deserve to feel great in your body, you deserve to be here, and you're already good enough. And if you choose to change the behaviors that are going to change your body, go do it. Let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's play. Let's like try some stuff out, see how it goes, see how it responds. Right? And ideally getting to our place where we just feel amazing and we, quiet the chatter in our minds that doesn't make us feel great based on the body we currently have. Okay, so thanks for listening. That's the end of today's podcast/video. If you like what I have to say or you want me to make more of this content, please click like, please click subscribe on YouTube, share it with some friends. I'm just new to this podcast world, but I think you subscribe to podcasts too. Leave reviews, leave a good review. And I'm always up for feedback as well. And if you need a little bit more help with this process and you're looking for some more individual coaching, you can reach out to me as well. And I'd be happy to help guide you to a new experience with your body and a new joy for your life. So anyways, I'm Deanna Bedoya, and I will see you in the next one.